How do you have an amazing team meeting when your team can't get together in person? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you the software to use, the format to use, and how to still make it fun. So there's a few types of software that you can actually use. You've probably heard of Zoom, which allows you to do like the Brady Bunch style videos where you are set in a Brady Bunch environment with all of your staff. You can see everybody. If you have big teams, that's a really good software to use. But you can also just very simply use things like FaceTime, Skype, or even you can use Facebook Messenger to have group calls with 5, 10, or maybe even up to 8 people, and it'll work pretty well. But what do you do when you get together? Because what can be a danger about getting together is that everybody can kind of use that as an opportunity to vent or complain and be upset. And so I want to just give you a couple tips about how you can have a really incredible team meeting. So rule number 1 for a team meeting is make sure that everybody has their camera on. Why is this a really big deal? Because if people are on the call and their camera's on, and again, I just say, look, this is a makeup-free zone. This is, you don't have to have your hair done zone. This is a raw and real call for us all to talk to each other. Because if you have your camera on and several team members don't have their camera on, it leads you to think about, well, what are they thinking? What's going through their mind? Are they even paying attention? Heaven forbid they're going to the bathroom, right? Like, you want to figure out exactly what's going on, and you want the ability to make eye-to-eye contact with them, even in a digital format. So number 1 is you want to make sure that all cameras are on. Number 2, you want to create a good flow and a good rhythm for the meeting. So first of all, set a boundary around your meeting, like 30 minutes or maybe 60 minutes max, depending on the size of your team, and just give it a boundary. If you're unsure, set a tight window of time first. And by the way, if you've already run some team meetings and they haven't been great, use this format and your next couple of meetings are going to be extraordinary. Okay, so for a meeting that would be really good for your team, here is the format. So number 2 is the format to use. I think you're going to find this really incredible. Is that number 1 in the format, you want to ask them what 3 things are they grateful for right now. Why do you want to start with that? By the way, you turn on the call, you say hi to everybody, you welcome everybody, and then ask them what 3 things are they grateful for. The reason for this is you want to set the tone for the rest of the call, because everybody's going to be in a different space. They're dealing with their children, and they're dealing with their spouses, and they're dealing with all the chaos that's existing. Heaven forbid they're watching the news and getting more consumed by other things. So you want to find out what are 3 things they're grateful for, and really encourage them to take a second and come up with those 3 things and go around and make sure everybody weighs in on the 3 things they're grateful for. Number 2, you want them to share what their fears and concerns are. And what I would recommend you do is say, what is your biggest fear and concern right now? And ask them a second question that they answer at the same time is, what do you have control over in your life right now? Reason for that is you want them to answer what are they afraid of, what are they concerned about, but also what do they have control over. So even though they might give you something that's a little bit negative, they can frame it up by saying something that they have control over in their life. It'll make them feel empowered, and it'll make them feel like they have something that they can actually do even though they're frightened. Step number 3 in the process is, what ideas and solutions can you bring to the salon right now? Never before in history have you had the opportunity with your whole staff not having to work where they can brainstorm and mastermind ideas with you. And I want you to hear this. You as a salon owner are probably so used to telling your staff what to do. This is a time to actually close your mouth and listen to your staff and say, guys, how do we make sure we stay in touch with our customers right now? How do we make sure we give value to the people who have trusted us for the amount of years that we worked for, and really listen to them? This should be the longest part of your meeting and give you some really good framework for how to actually get them to brainstorm with you. Then you want to get them to dream. You want to talk about, what do you want your future to look like 4 and 6 months out? Because trust me, as soon as people can go back into the salon, I've heard some people are like texting people and say,
hey, what's the emergency insider deal haircut price? Can I pay for a driveway haircut?
Because people are getting desperate. So when you reopen, you're going to be slammed. So get them to dream that 4 and 6 month vision out into the future. And the last step you want to ask them is, what can we do to better serve our community? Not just the guests of the salon, but the community at large. Because remember, other businesses are hurting right now, and they would love to have some support for you. So use that brain trust to do it. Now, you might think I'm really smart and I came up with this amazing idea of this perfect meeting format. Well, I got to give credit where credit is due. And one of our incredible members inside our high performance salon academy, Lindsay Haney, has taken some of our ideas and turned it into this format. So big props to Lindsay Haney for creating this amazing meeting format. And lastly, I just want to say this about having fun inside your team meetings. One of the most important things you can do right now is figure out a game that you can play. Yes, you can play a board game or do something silly. I even saw one of the people at our High Performance Salon Academy, they brought in a salsa instructor and had them learn some salsa moves right in the middle of their meeting. So don't be afraid afraid to like make it a little bit outside their comfort zone. Get them to do something, especially if you can get them physical. Maybe call a personal trainer who would love to have some work. Have them come in on the Zoom call and get them to do a workout or do some exercise and just get them moving, get their bodies working. Because right now we're in our heads and we need to be making some physical movement, going for walks and making sure that we take care of ourselves. So I hope this has been very helpful for you of giving you a really clean team meeting format that you can use and how to make your meetings fun and the tech that you can use. So if you like this video and you want to see more amazing positive content about topics like this, do me a favor and find our Facebook group. It is called #SalonStrong, all one word. If you go find that Facebook group, this video and other videos like it are stored inside there so you can get access to some of the latest information to keep your team in tip-top shape until you can reopen your doors.